is Rory's Power by Rory's Jester out of Ruby. And this horse won a trial at Flemington over 800 metres on September 14. It's a good race. They're set now. Here's Greg Miles.
Fabiano's Son ready to break at the 1,000 metres. This one is only two, well into the red. Off they go. Fabiano's Son began very fast, one from the outside. Neverlander's hunting through to go to the lead over him, though. And Rory's Power settles down in the blue colours in third placing. 1.5 Smites' Falcon. Fire Insurance improving up past him. Then Mondivert and Prince Benbar is about 3 lengths last of all. Fabiano's Son moved up to Neverland and put his head in front. 1.5 lengths to Fire Insurance third, and then Smites' Falcon. 3 lengths Rory's Power, who's lost his place very quickly. Mondivert's gone up past him now, and Prince Benbar last of all. Neverland booting through on the inside, and the favourite Fabiano's Son on the outer. They lead Fire Insurance and Smites' Falcon the grey. Next Mondivert coming to the outside, and Rory's Power from Prince Benbar at the turn now. Neverland's got about a half length in front of Fabiano's Son, and Neverland kicked away on the turn. Neverland by about 1.5 lengths. Fabiano's Son. Mondivert is starting to run home well. Neverland the leader. Mondivert coming down the outside. Neverland against the rail in front, but Mondivert is pegging it back at every stride, and on the line got there. Mondivert beat Neverland. Third, Prince Benbar. It's come from tailed off last. A gap Fabiano's Son, who weakened badly in the run home. Then Smites' Falcon. Behind those to finish was Rory's Power, and dropping out last was Fire Insurance.
Well, they were sitting ducks. They were ducks on a wall, weren't they? Fabiano's Son, all fired up under Childs when Childs set him to sit outside the leader. Refused to settle. The pace was a cracker. It's been a big run, the second horse, Neverland, to hang on that well for second, and Prince Benbar from tailed off third. A field of 7 and a 35 to 1 winner. 43s in New South Wales, 38 to 1 in Queensland. Sitting shots. Kembla Grange, race 2. Number 2, Vigilante at 6.20. 3, Skyline Chief, 16. Number 4, Dole Day at 13. 5, El Passim, 42. 6, My Fair for the second event, and the favourite Iska, $2.20. Second pick is number 3, Sozzled at 6.30. 4, Compulsion, 6.70. Then the fourth pick is 6, Kaylee Revival at 7.20, and 1, Choose at 7.60. Almost on start time. Quick look at Kembla. Final Fantasy, 10. 15 for 3, Torrent. Number 5, Coast Vane, 7.10. 9, Russian Romance, 2.60. 10, Forsaken Gold at 7.50. And $10 for 13, Queen of the Divine. Let's join Greg Miles in Melbourne.
Right, Hilton, last of them getting ready now. All set. Clear favourite Iska. 1,000 metres for the second. Off now. Iska and Sozzled out quickly on the inside from Choose, who was away fast. All a Blur, My Juliet. Settling second last, Kaylee Revival, and Compulsion last of all. The grey Sozzled went through and led. Iska's a length away second, 1.5 lengths to Choose, who's caught out 3 wide. Kaylee Revival on the rails, and in the centre is My Juliet, and then All a Blur, and Compulsion on the fence last of all. Sozzled the leader, about 3/4 of a length clear from Iska going through the gap, and Choose the outside. Kaylee Revival fourth the rails. Next, All a Blur, My Juliet, and Compulsion. Sozzled led, a half to Iska coming before the home turn, 1.5 lengths then to Choose. My Juliet through on the inside with Kaylee Revival. All a Blur coming wide, and Compulsion getting onto its back. Sozzled the leader around the home turn. Iska's right there to challenge and is going a bit better and takes the lead into the straight, and the favourite dashed away from Sozzled, and a gap then to My Juliet, but this favourite's going to come away and win like a good thing. Iska in the run home scores by about 4 lengths, probably should be unbeaten. Sozzled is second, My Juliet's third, Compulsion fourth, and then a gap Kaylee Revival, followed in by Choose, who did it hard early, and All a Blur dropped out to last. That's about all they saw of her. All a Blur. Iska way too good to pay $2.10 and $1.60. Sozzled held on pretty well to pay $2.80 and no third for My Juliet. She's just absolutely killed him. Race time 57.9 and the record is 57.4. She was just coasting, just let breeze up the last 100 metres. Did it all under her own steam, which is plenty. And she comfortably put Sozzled away around the home turn. My Juliet a nice run. So fillies have filled placings, first and third against the boys. And not far away, another filly in Compulsion, who doesn't really race all that well here. Tried something different riding her from the back, and it was just a moderate fourth in fast time. 7, 3 and 8, Iska. Far too good for them. A very good filly. She really should be unbeaten. She ran into heaps of trouble at her debut, and the only other time she got beaten was here, and she was taken on relentlessly all the way and still held on for second. So she's a very, very smart filly, ridden by Greg Childs, trained by Peter Hayes. They didn't perform well in the first when the favourite Fabiano's Son failed to fill a place, but Isker put paid to that very comfortably, and a strong win. 3.5 lengths officially, 2 1/4 second and third. A slick gallop of 57.9, numbers 7, 3 and 8 on race number 2.
About to come up at Kembla Grange for the third event. And number 1 is Final Fantasy at 7.
As you would expect with that terrific Moonee Valley form. Should be unbeaten. Coming into the stalls, there he goes with the gold and the blue spots, black cap. Betting around 11 to 8 on track. 240 for Super Tab. They've tried Danelaw, the filly. She's come in for good support on course, firming nearly a full point. Now into $4.30 on Super Tab. $4.80 for Runaway. He's eased 2 points on course. Out to about a $6 chance, so it's unders on the tote at the moment, Runaway. Others in the market. Well, Mossman, he's got out 1.5 points or so. Nearly ready. Mossman set. This will take us a long way to sorting out the Derby, although we don't have the likes of Sky Heights, Leading Light, Arena, the two that are running in the Cox Plate later on, of course, Dracula and Kenwood Melody. Mithrander and Lawyer are the Derby hopefuls, but this is a good field. All in. Off they go. Spectacular Gold was the one that was a bit slow to move. Away fast is Lord Larwood and Danelaw in the centre. Holding onto the inside, Lord of the Pines. And here's Double Helix with pace from the outside, the grey. Lord Larwood led. Double Helix moved up and joined it at the post. A lap to go. Mossman trapped out but can get in as Danelaw is easing back. He's wobbled a bit round that turn though, Mossman. He's still hung out on a limb. On the inside then, just behind them, Lord of the Pines by the 1,600 metres. And then Runaway, who's drifted back to be second last, and 2 lengths to Spectacular Gold. Up the side, 1,500 to go, and Lord Larwood led. Double Helix is second. Mossman trapped out 3 wide. Lord of the Pines tucked away 4th on the inside. Danelaw's in a beautiful place on the outside, following Double Helix there. About 2 lengths to Runaway, and the blue and light blue colours, and Spectacular Gold last of all. Off the back, into the 1,200 metre bend they go now. Lord Larwood the leader, about a neck in front of Mossman, who's done it hard to sit up second now as they approach halfway. 2 lengths Double Helix, happy to have a trail into the headwind down the back of the course. A length away, Lord of the Pines on the inside, and they're being followed by Danelaw. 2 lengths to Runaway and 2 lengths Spectacular Gold. Heading towards the turn at the 800, Lord Larwood by a length to Mossman, 2 lengths to Double Helix. Lord of the Pines a half length away 4th. A length and a half to Danelaw, 2 lengths to Runaway, and Spectacular Gold on the inside last of all. Off the back at the 800 metres now, Lord Larwood the leader, half a length clear on Mossman. Double Helix a length and a half away. Lord of the Pines a neck away 4th. Then Danelaw followed by Runaway and Spectacular Gold. The 2 back markers will need to get a move on. The school coming up, and Mossman went to the lead. Lord Larwood gone. Double Helix next, and now Danelaw is starting to work into the race well. Lord of the Pines in the green and the yellow colours is coming home near the inside. Mossman led. Danelaw the big challenger at the turn. Lord of the Pines is next. Runaway is putting himself in the picture. Spectacular Gold second last turning. Mossman in front. The filly Danelaw coming at him now, and Runaway starting to answer. Shane Dye, Mossman, Danelaw and Runaway on the outside. Mossman fighting on courageously. Danelaw and Runaway getting to him. Mossman, Danelaw, Runaway the outside. Mossman, I think, from Runaway, with Danelaw just weakening slightly to third. A gap, Lord of the Pines, Spectacular Gold never came into it. Beat only Double Helix and Lord Larwood to the line. Photo between Mossman and Runaway. One's got it, Mossman. Jim Cassidy, he's won it, number 1. Gee, that was a good effort. What a tough win. Runaway second. Danelaw had the perfect run, just the last little bit. She's petered out. Another hop. The result would have been reversed, but it's 1, 4 and 7. 1, 4 and 7. Mossman, Jim Cassidy, didn't handle the turn out of the straight. He was posted, so he went forward and sat outside the lead. They didn't go all that hard, and that was to his great advantage. I think the jockeys were a bit worried about that headwind down the back, and they sat up. And that meant it was going to be very difficult for the backmarkers to come home. So Runaway's effort has been simply outstanding. They've come home the last 634.9, and he's come from near enough last with a sprint from that point. So his effort to go under in a photo, simply outstanding. But Mossman well handled by Jim Cassidy. Cassidy and Dye fighting the race out. Danelaw hanging a little bit round the turn. but Mossman has been too strong, and he's found his right form. It was a handy fourth in the Caulfield Guineas, riding the pace on a slow track. He's found a dry track here today, and I think that's probably been a great thing to his favour in winning. Plus the way it was run, and what have they done here? 2 minutes 5.5, ahead by half a length the margins. 2.5.5 is a record. They've run a record there, 2.5.5. They've run faster than Saintly recorded in winning the Cox Plate. He ran 2.5.7. They've run 2.5.5 on a track that is obviously lightning fast. $6.260 the winner, $2.60 second, no third dividend. Quinella's paid $15.10. The trifecta $83.30.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it? Faster than Saintly's Cox Plate of 2 years ago, of 2.5.7, 2.5.5, 34.9 the last 6. Coming up now at Kembla Grange, where Pastor Express is now 2.70, 7.30.
The last to move in, just the 6 runners. She's drawn the outside. She knows one pace only, and that is to get out and run hard. In she comes. So the Schweppes is ready for dispatch. Off they go. Show No Emotion won the jump on the outside with Mazelda Ends. The General dwelt slightly, but he's hunting up through between horses now. Dan Speed on his outside, a point getting back the second last, and 2 Natois. Show No Emotion at the 800 led today. At a length and a half, General Nadim is second. A neck away on the outside, Mazelda Ends beaten for early pace. A point getting up on her inside. Then Dan Speed and 2 Natois. Coming through the gap now, and Show No Emotion. And by 2 lengths, General Nadim. 2 lengths to Dan Speed outside a point. Mazelda Ends outside of those two, and the Natois last of all. Show No Emotion the leader. Burns getting a bit anxious here on General Nadim. He hasn't let the leader go, and under the whip General Nadim has to really find round the turn, and Show No Emotion's race 3 or 4 in front. The General can't go on. A point's chasing the leader, then Dance Beat, but Show No Emotion, he's 3 or 4 lengths in front. A point trying hard, but Show No Emotion, the sprint sensation, stopping on the line, but will be too good and beats a point. Dance Beat third, Natois 4. Second last as Mazelda Ends, and the General, he's turned in an Oakley Plater. An inexplicable last.
All right, our sincere apologies there for... but that is totally out of our control. We have absolutely no idea why we did not see that race at Moonee Valley. We'll endeavour to get a full replay for you and show you Show No Emotion's marvellous victory. But as you saw, the barrier camera was all we saw for the entire event, and Show No Emotion burnt General off, and that was about it. We'll endeavour to get a full replay for you in just a moment. 2, 5 and 4 are those numbers across the line. We'll take a break, and we'll be back and find out exactly what happened there at Moonee Valley, and we'll try and bring you a replay.
Want to bet? Bet with Sportsbet's Brian Clark, Australia.
Which we've managed to get for you of the previous race from Moonee Valley.
And they'll be set to go in the Schweppes. Group 2, they stand. Signal. Gates are back there racing. Show No Emotion began like a bullet out wide on the track with Marcel the Ends, and they let out on settling down from General Nadim. He quickly goes up third. Now Dance Beat fourth, followed by a point, and Natois is 2 lengths last to the 6. Show No Emotion crossed to the rail and led by 2 lengths. General Nadim second a length, Marcel the Ends, and then a point. Outside it, Dance Beat, and 2 last of all, Natois. Through the gap they go, and Show No Emotion flying in front, led by 2 lengths to the General, a length and a half. Then further back is Dance Beat. They're followed by a point, Marcel the Ends, and 2 lengths Natois last of all. The General's chasing pretty hard, and Show No Emotion's full of running to the turn, led by 3. The General is under the whip running second. Then further back a point, followed by Dance Beat, but look at Show No Emotion. He's 4 in front around the turn. A point is after him. General Nadim is struggling from Dance Beat. Show No Emotion 3 in front of a point, who's trying hard, but a blistering gallop by Show No Emotion down to the post, wins by a length and a half a point. 3 away, third Dance Beat, then Natois, then Marcel the Ends, and General Nadim is last of all.
General Nadim running last, and Show No Emotion at $4.60, $4.20 New South Wales, $4 Queensland. A massive crowd for Cox Plate Day, and they're enjoying the sunshine. There's the tote, Show No Emotion, $4, $4.24 even. Trifecta's $90.30 Victoria, $94.20 New South Wales, $100.70 in Queensland. We're coming up.
Off they go. Noircia began very quickly, so did Risky towards the inside with Vesti. Naphill out fast. The Valley Specialist Londalaise is ridden for some pace. Listening's Joy got tightened soon after the start. Bonanova dropped out to be second to last. Naphill took over the running before the first turn near the 1200 and led 2 lengths to Vesti. Londalaise improving up round her now, and they're followed by Risky a length away fourth. Graceful Encounter fifth on the rail, and then Noircia on the outside. 2 lengths to Spectrum. She's being followed by Fleischer and Abolition out wide. Listening's Joy back on the rail. Wonder Winnings and then Shiosaki. Bonanova third to last from Touch of Fantasy and Chicago Baby. 900 to go and Naphill the leader. Running off the back 3/4 on Londalaise. 2 lengths away is Risky the outside of Vesti, and 2 further back in the field is Noircia. Abolition covering ground, and then Graceful Encounter tucked away on the fence. A length and a half behind these. Spectrum, Fleischer, Shiosaki out very wide, and then Listening's Joy. Touch of Fantasy coming wide, and then Bonanova a good way back, being followed then by Winnings, ridden along second last, and Chicago Baby. Londalaise with 500 to go went up and took the lead from Naphill. Vesti is just behind these horses, followed by Risky. Abolition out wide, and Noircia is hard ridden at this stage. Then Spectrum coming home fairly, and Graceful Encounter awkwardly placed on the rail in the red cap. Londalaise led Vesti. Abolition's done it hard, but she's there third, and then Noircia fourth turning. It's Londalaise and Vesti. Abolition on the outside, and Noircia behind them. 3 across the track. Abolition and Vesti from Londalaise. Vesti and Abolition now going to the line. They hit it, and Abolition, that's a big win. Abolition 3 wide the whole way, beat Vesti and Londalaise. Behind them Noircia, Graceful Encounter and Chicago Baby flying from last. Then came Risky, followed by Listening's Joy, Spectrum, Bonanova, Naphill weakening, and then Shiosaki, Touch of Fantasy, Fleischer and Winnings was last of all. Abolition will get this, number 8. That's a big performance. And Jason Patton has picked up a late ride. It was Rod Griffith's one ride for the day, and he was replaced by Jason Patton, who snaps up a double. He scored on Mondavert in the first. Numbers in the frame now are 8, 10 and 2. I couldn't believe she kept going after racing 3 deep the entire journey. That's a big win, and she's won 2 in a row in this preparation. At Sandown, where she came from last and beat Gillo, and here where she raced handier to the pace and has scored a narrow but most decisively strong win. Went home the best on the outside of Vesti and Londalaise, the Valley Specialist who held the rails, and that's a big performance. Noircia, the favourite, heavily backed. I thought had every chance. She may have been inclined to over-race just a shade early, but she battled on in 4th place when the real pressure went on. They've run another record here. 135.8. Spectrum set the mark of 136.02 when she won this race last year. They've broken that. 135.8 the time. It's a pretty strong northerly wind, a warm day. It's up around 28 degrees in Melbourne right now. The rail true, and it's a very fast track that we're racing on. So Abolition, Jason Patton taking out the 5th. Incidentally, the news from on the General Nadim camp, there's been no light thrown on his inexplicable failure. When Clary Connors was asked by Clem Dimsey, he gave the response, I don't know. Jim Byrne said the horse was gone 600 metres from home. He no doubt would have been swabbed, and I guess a full vet's test will follow, but he turned in one of those before in the Oakley Plate. There was no reason found for his excuse then, and it looked horribly like the same thing happening again today here at Moonee Valley. So it's 8, 10 and 2 in the Troas Arrowfield Tezio Stakes. Abolition, Jason Patton, big day for Jason, making it a double on Cox Plate Day.
Well done, Jason. Kembla Grange, the runners are starting to come up for a start for race number 6. This was Gold Guru, left in the wake of Might and Power and also Tycoon Lil in the Yalumba, beaten a total of 6 1/4 lengths. But Hazard Myra is still $17 in New South Wales. 9 Tycoon Lil at $7.80. She's had the 17 runs for 7 wins and 10 minor placings, yet to miss a place. Colin Gillings, her trainer, won this race in what was 1993 with the Phantom Chance. And at 7.80, she is the third pick now. Catalan Opening still second pick, $7.30. She, of course, has won 3 Group 1s and runs second in 4 Group 1s. Kenwood Melody at $11. Certainly given a good chance as well. A last start winner of the Caulfield Guineas at Group 1 level, following the Stan Fox in Sydney at Randwick at Group 2. Chris Muntz, the rider. We'll be back in a moment with the running of the BMW Cox Plate, and they're at the barrier.
Life's not just about hard work, mate. It's about having a good time.
As for the BMW Cox Plate at Moonee Valley.
Right, Hilton, half the field locked in. Might and Power in gate 2 next to Batavian and Dracula. Kenwood Melody best backed of the 3-year-olds, but Might and Power is very firm in the market at 11 to 8 on. First odds on favourite in the race since Bone Crusher. Second pick is Tycoon Lil at 5 to 1. Kenwood Melody into the third line of betting at 9s, 10 to 1 Dracula. Catalan Opening's been a big drifter out to 16 to 1, but only $8 on Super Tab. They're nearly ready. Kenwood Melody's linked in, and Northern Drake will complete the lineup for the Cox Plate. Crowd already starting to roar. They're set. Off for the Cox Plate. Might and Power, if anything, missed at a half length. Tycoon Lil had a look over, and he shot the mare straight to the front ahead of Might and Power. There's Kenwood Melody. The 3-year-old zips up very fast on the outside to join the leader. Looking around, wanting someone to go to the front, I think. Might and Power switches 3 deep. Super Slew 4 wide, turning out of the straight, and Batavian just behind them from Northern Drake. Might and Power let go and moved up on the outside at the 1,600 metres. Let him go, and Might and Power led. Tycoon Lil wanted to sit on him. Sits back 2 lengths away. Kenwood Melody outside Batavian. 2 lengths Super Slew 5th, and then Dracula. Northern Drake next from Gold Guru. Dodge third to last from Catalan Opening. And Old Doremus last of all. The Cox Plate field heads to the 1,200 turn. And Might and Power by a length and a quarter. Shane Dye staying off the fence on Tycoon Lil second into that bottom turn. Batavian is third. Ahead to Kenwood Melody. 2 lengths to Dracula. Super Slew on the outside of him. About 4 lengths further back Northern Drake and Gold Guru. 1 further back is Dodge, Catalan Opening, and Doremus last of all. 1,000 metres to go, and Might and Power by 2 lengths to Tycoon Lil. 3/4 away, third on the inside is Batavian, 1 to Kenwood Melody. The fellow 3-year-old Dracula a length and a half behind it, and then Super Slew, 2 lengths to Northern Drake and Gold Guru. 1 to Dodge and Catalan Opening, and 1 to Remus, 15 off the leader. Might and Power comes down the side in the Cox Plate and leads by 2 lengths to Tycoon Lil. A length and a half to Kenwood Melody, and they're followed by Batavian, 2 Dracula, Northern Drake, Gold Guru, Dodge, Super Slew's dropping out quickly. Catalan Opening is second last, and now Doremus has gone past it, coming up towards the turn, 400 to go, and the pumper gets to work on the big champ, and it's Might and Power the leader. Kenwood Melody going to second around Tycoon Lil when they corner, and then Batavian, and next is Northern Drake and Dodge. Might and Power comes around the home corner, the leader. He's kicked out by 2. Northern Drake is chasing home hard on the outside after the leader, and Tycoon Melody battling strongly. It's Might and Power the leader. Northern Drake a length and a half away coming home, but Might and Power, the big champ, the king, joins the greats of the turf, and Might and Power's won it from Northern Drake. Third home is Tycoon Lil. Then came Dodge, Catalan Opening, Dracula. Next to finish was Doremus and Gold Guru, Batavian, Kenwood Melody, and last of all is Super Slew. One of the greatest. Might and Power's led virtually all the way to win the Cox Plate. A dream's come true for Jim Cassidy and Jack Denham. So close for the last 2 years. Happy Jack's finally won the one that's eluded him, and he's smashed the record. 1, 8 and 9 are the official numbers. Might and Power, a crowning glory to his career. The Caulfield Melbourne Cup winner of last spring has returned to Melbourne, where he is undefeated, to emulate Far Lap, the last horse to win the Melbourne Cup and come back and win a Cox Plate. He's emulated Rising Fast, the only horse to have won a Cox Plate, Melbourne and Caulfield Cup. What we have here is one of the greats of all time. A champion in every sense of the word. Might and Power has beaten Northern Drake, who's run the race of his life, and Tycoon Lil in third place 1, 8 and 9 in the BMW Cox Plate. He's run 2 minutes 3.5, 1 1/4 by 1 3/4, and wait till you get the time. 1 minute 3.5 seconds has taken 2.2 seconds off the record. That is just a most amazing statistic. What a racehorse. Well, he went into the races the shortest since Bone Crusher. He's won it far more defiantly than Bone Crusher. And he certainly is the best horse we've seen win a Cox Plate since Kingston Town. Big statements can easily flow today because this horse would back you up every time. His first run at Moonee Valley, the pumper was asking him for the big effort. 400 from home. He'd broken Tycoon Little's heart at that point. It was left to Northern Drake to try. And try he did, but he was left in the wake of a super horse. Dodge running on well at the end of the race, but it was all to no avail behind a super champion. Might and Power. Jim Cassidy. This is the one that had eluded him. It was a big win that had also eluded Jack Denham, who had been so desperately close for the past 2 years with Filante. And now it's on to Tackle the World, the Japan Cup. And what a chance he must be in Tokyo on what he's displaying here. The BMW Cox Plate winner, Might and Power, who's now won 14 of his 30 starts. Super win by a super racehorse. $1.90 and $1.30. $14.10 the place dividend for Northern Drake, and $2.10 the return for Tycoon Little. $75.60 Quinella, $580.30 for the trifecta. This will be just an incredible reception when he comes back. They've taken him to heart. He's one of them.
Well, unfortunately, we'll have to leave it there, Greg, because they're nearly ready to go at Kembla Grange. But we'll endeavour to record some of the scenes from the mounting yard and show them to you throughout the day. We've got Nick Moratis, highly elated, of course, and it is certainly the racetrack to bring about this high emotion. The crowd very close to the action there at the Valley, and Might and Power. He might run a few of these cameramen over in a minute, but here he comes back to scale. Jim Cassidy and Nick Moratis just behind the clerk of the course. And a standing ovation at Moonee Valley was received by Might and Power. Incredible scenes there. First horse since Far Lap to win a Cox Plate after winning a Melbourne Cup, and he has obliterated the course record, taking 2.2 seconds off that record. The runners are moving in well in Brisbane. We might pick this up. Here's Greg Miles.
This is just amazing scenes, Hilton. When Nick Moratis came onto the track, they were leaning across to touch him. It was like the Pope had arrived at the course. They all just wanted to touch Nick Moratis, and now when Might and Power came back, he went right up to the top of the straight. They just cheered and